Sapp, original rainbow ice cream. Happy 100th anniversary. I cannot believe that. Isn't that amazing?
It truly is. It is amazing. And I keep pinching myself going 100 years. It was always my goal, but you go through like 40 years.
That's
I've owned Rainbow. I bought it when it was 60 from my parents. I took it over when it was 60 years old.
yeah.
So that's amazing, isn't it?
So it's been. I know the story because you've told it on my show
Right.
many times. It's a multi-generational thing in your family. I have to explain that Lynn now lives in Florida, and she's in town for the 100th anniversary. And
Yes.
she's actually in a hotel room right now without a tripod. So excuse the picture being a little shaky. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. Happy to see your smiling face, but that's the reason why. Explain the history of this. This all started with your grandparents, right?
It did. So I'm the third generation. 1926, it was Joe and Catherine. They went out to the South Side, lived in Bridgeport area. My grandmother was from Ohio, met him in Ohio. They moved to Chicago. He was a Buick mechanic during the day, and they decided to go into the ice cream business. It was his decision. And there was no, trying to explain to people there was no banks. There's no credit cards. If you don't have the cash, you don't have it. And they didn't have collateral. They were working people. And they built this little shack. My grandpa and my grandma's brother built this little shack. And we were laughing, Dean, because it's probably about the size of the Navy Pier location.
Oh.
And it's this tiny, tiny little place. And they went out on Western Avenue as a dirt road. And my grandpa thought it was going to grow because the streetcar just started out there.
Yeah.
And took people out to the South Side. And people don't realize the South Side was considered the country. Payless was where you went to get out to the country.
Yep.
And then they got the money from the shack. It took them a couple of years to buy the land of where we're at right now at 9233 Western. And then they got the money to build the building. So it was just a simple one-story building. And they lived in the back room. And my grandpa, my grandpa and grandma they had a bedroom, but my dad slept on what they called a Davenport. It was like a pull-out couch, but it was a Davenport. And that's what he slept on. So he was 3 when they opened.
When your grandparents opened this 100 years ago, was it the 5 original flavors that we now enjoy at Rainbow at 92nd Western? But now, thank goodness, all over Chicago, it's pretty convenient to find Rainbow these days.
It's the same cone. It's the same cone. And I, still have the original ice cream shovel that I used. They used to call them a paddle. And because the ice cream was much softer because the air condition, there was no refrigeration.
Yeah.
Dean, when I bought it, I took out boxes that had liquid solution around them, what they call a brine box. And they had circles. And when I was working in 8th grade, we had 5-gallon cans, and they were in steel. So we were green before green was cool. You took them out with the pliers, and you put them in with the pliers. They hosed them down, took them to the ice cream factory, because we never produced on site because our volume was always so high. And they would bring it 2-3 times a week, and they would take these metal cans and insert them into the dipping box. And that's what we would work out of. And that ice cream stayed cold because there's no air conditioning in the store.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was probably about 15 years ago that our transformer went bad at 92nd in the back. And we had to redo the electric, and we had no air. The air conditioning fried out. And we were so miserable. I can't comprehend how they worked it, Dean.
Right.
How they did that.
People were tougher back then. We're spoiled these days. Everything has to be nice and comfy.
Well, they all wore white shirts to work. They had to wear a white shirt. the girls had to wear dresses because ice cream parlors were formal.
Yeah.
So when I started in 8th grade, I had a white dress, and we used to go get nursing dresses,
Wow.
and we had to wear the little white dresses, and we had white dresses and white shoes. Remember the cafeteria ladies?
Sure.
We didn't have the aprons. The boys had the aprons. They had the white cloth. De Normandy was the name of the apron company, and they delivered every week. And they were a Chicago company that serviced all the restaurants, and that's what you wore.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's truly amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if Southsiders are watching this, they know what an institution Original Rainbow is. As I did growing up on the South Side, it was the treat of treats. You knew that Dad was in a good mood, and you had been extra special good, that everything was good if you got to go to Rainbow on a hot day and go get one of those amazing cones. And that's where I developed my love for it. And it's been the same ever since. As I've said for decades on radio and TV, it is the greatest ice cream in the history of ice cream. Others will have their own opinion. For me, there is nothing like the original Rainbow ice cream cone. It truly is the greatest. And I can't even tell you how happy I am that, I still get to the South Side to visit relatives every now and again. And there is just something special about going to your original location at 92nd and Western. But, the locations now that are, as you said, Navy Pier, at Bona Beef locations, select Bona Beef locations around Chicago. And the truck is still out. It's Rainbow ice cream has become very much more accessible, and I'm glad that our friends on the north side and the west suburbs and northern suburbs, that everybody gets to enjoy the great treat that we did on the south side for all of our lives.
Well, when you had radio, you invited me down, and I was so appreciative for that reason, to explain to people what it was and get our story out. Because, I think when we started Taste, there were maybe 3 vendors from the South Side, and everybody else was from the North Side.
Right.
To your point, we were kind of, we used to joke it's warmer down south by us, right? But it was a true dividing line until Taste got going and we got our name out there, and that was my goal. My whole goal was to get everybody to know it,
right?
Not just the Southsiders.
So you're going to be celebrating the one. It still blows my mind that it's 100 years old. 100 years old. That's amazing. But you're going to be celebrating that at 92nd and Western on Sunday, right? Sunday, August the 9th. Yeah.
The 9th. And we're celebrating at 10:30. They're going to do a cake for the 100 years, and they're going to give away some merchandise for 100 years. And then it's buy one, get one if you're a rewards member. And then they're giving away merchandise. But they're also doing a wheel that you can spin to win, like the truck coming to your house or an event up to $1,000. They're giving away, free ice cream, of course, and all kinds of prizes. So my sister, Kathy, is in Wisconsin. Her and my brother Tom are coming down. And my brother Bobby's in Florida, and he can't make it. So we have to do a Zoom or something with him. But we'll all be there tomorrow or Sunday. So
that's great. That's great.
Yes.
Well, congratulations. It's been my absolute pleasure to know you all these decades and to get to know your family. And
it has been decades.
It really has been. It really has been. And you're, just as nice as you seem on the Zoom. I'm here to tell you that's Lynn. I practically had to twist her arm to get her to do the Zoom today. She's not, one for this kind of special attention. But I'm glad that you did it. I'm glad we worked out all the technology here. Happy 100th anniversary to the original Rainbow Ice Cream Cone. Give me the exact location at 92nd and Western again.
9233 Southwestern Avenue.
Okay. And if people want to go to a website to learn more, to see more, to order more, what's the best
It's
way?
rainbowcone.com.
Rainbowcone.com. Lynn
Yes.
Sapp,
Yes.
the third generation owner of Rainbow Ice Cream. Have a great time out there, Lynn. And again, happy 100th.
Thank you, Dean. Great to talk to you.